Hi, I'm Daniel Galofaro, and we will be discussing the use of algae as a biofuel. In the 18th and 19th century, oil companies created narratives that discouraged interest in biodiesels. Additionally, U.S. automobile companies backed the fabricated claims made by Big Oil. Energy demands were at an all-time high post-World War II, and the efficacy of plant-based fuels were only beginning to be understood. The oil crisis of 1970 resulted in the creation of the Aquatic Species Program in 1978 by then-President Jimmy Carter. The program emphasized research on microalgae and methods to convert algal oil to usable biodiesel. The first biodiesel plant was created in Maui, Hawaii, and it focused on the conversion of cooking oils to biodiesel. While algal biofuel is widely researched, it has seen its fair share of criticisms, some of which undeserving. The main metabolic pathway involved in the synthesis of algae-based biodiesel is photosynthesis. During the light-dependent reactions, photons excite photosystem II and split water into constituent electrons, which are carried along the electron transport chain and eventually reduced to NADPH, where the high-energy electron shuttle gives energy required to create small amounts of ATP. While the proton gradient is important for the synthesis of ATP, the main interest here is carbon fixation. During the Calvin cycle, also known as light-independent reaction, CO2 is fixed to RuBP by the enzyme Rubisco. Because of this, carbon dioxide is utilized and therefore not a byproduct. We will further explore the importance of this biochemical process in a later slide. There are several methods for the extraction of algal biodiesel. One way to extract the biofuel is achieved by creating conditions that enable carbon dioxide to become supercritical, meaning it's neither a liquid nor a solid. The supercritical carbon dioxide acts as a solvent that removes the algal oils. After oil is extracted, the only thing that is left is proteins and some starches, which have other useful applications, such as high-protein livestock feed. Another process is known as transesterification, where the oil component of algae plus methanol yields glycerol and methyl esters, which are the usable form of biofuel. Why is algae-based biofuel on the rise? Well, CO2 sequestration is a key component for the mitigation of greenhouse gases, which contribute to global warming. Additionally, high photon conversion efficiency compared to other renewable energy sources such as solar and wind make algae a great choice. Algae is several times more effective at producing biodiesel than the next best crops, palm and castor oils. Combustion of algae biomass production is carbon neutral, which means it has no impact on atmospheric conditions. Because the CO2 in the metabolic pathway is fixed to RuBP by Rubisco enzyme during the Calvin cycle, this positively affects the greenhouse diagram and will ultimately lead to a decrease in extreme weather conditions as a result of global warming. Algae is more efficient than other crops because a high percentage of its biomass is lipids, which are used for the conversion of biodiesel. The algal growth cycle has a much faster turnaround than other crops. Under good conditions, green algae can double its biomass in less than a day. Additionally, extraction is relatively inexpensive. Another method for extraction, known as the expeller press extraction method, uses hexane to remove the usable biofuel. Additionally, mimicking conditions that create supercritical carbon dioxide for the extraction are also inexpensive. Currently, algal oil is not as cheap as petroleum-based oil. Cost of production puts algal biodiesel at around $1.80 per liter, which is not terrible, but is notably more expensive than petroleum-based oil. While algae biodiesel is not yet a sound energy alternative, algae has the highest biofuel yield compared to other biodiesel crops. A high percentage of algal oils produced are polyunsaturated in nature, which allows for biofuel production even in cold climates. Lastly, the algae can be cultivated on land and in fresh or salt water, making the production of this biofuel particularly attractive. How is this biofuel being communicated and promoted to the public? Well, ExxonMobil has partnered with synthetic genomics in the effort to achieve a competitive renewable energy source that will remove the carbon dioxide from the atmosphere. However, non-renewable energy has been in business for over 150 years, making the race for algae to replace crude oil a long and challenging prospective achievement. Scientists working with Exxon and synthetic genomics agree that progress is being made, but slowly at best. In 2017, ExxonMobil acted as a mouthpiece for synthetic genomics' potential breakthrough. They used CRISPR, a gene editing technology, to create a particular type of algae that has potential to move us closer to fully renewable energy. Since algae is not yet as competitive as petroleum oil, its conversation is usually kept to a minimum. Algae biodiesel is not yet economically competitive enough to replace petroleum-based fuels. More work should be done to increase the efficiency of algal biodiesel so that it may replace petroleum fuel before reserves run out in the future. If money was not an issue, I would allocate funds to increase the number of biochemical scientists working with algae in order to reach an algae-based energy dependence quicker. The faster we effectively implement algae biodiesel as our main source of energy, the quicker we thwart the negative effects of carbon dioxide emissions. Here are my references, and thank you for watching.